What's going on, guys? Welcome to J Powell Music. I'm your host, Jarrell, and we're talking about some exciting news when it comes to de facto. So, if you're not familiar with Omar Rodriguez Lopez and all the bands that he's in, de facto was one of the um, earlier bands that he was in, and I'm trying to think of dub, dub, one of the earlier bands dub slash punk bands that he was in his early days, and it seems like he's coming back to it. There was a foreshadowing on Omar Ruiz Lopez's Instagram, showing just de facto, nothing else, no information, just said de facto on the Instagram, and it went away. No one really talked about it, and lo and behold, we get some information showing that the band will actually be together once again, which is very exciting to me. So I want to share this article here and read it, of course. This is from the yesterday. So it says here, according to the PRP, it says de facto, the short-lived dub offshoot of the Mars Volta slash at the drive-in duo of Maurice Lopez and Cedric Bixler Savala will return for their first live show in decades this year. While short on details at the moment, the group are expected to return to the stage for this year's South by Southwest events in Austin, Texas. The set will coincide with a screening of the documentary on the aforementioned pair, Omar and Cedric. If this ever gets weird, an exact schedule is pending. There's also no word yet on who will replace the late band's members, Isaiah Ike Owens and Jeremy Ward, for this performance. So, interesting stuff there. Just to keep you up to speed, Ike Owens, he was the keyboardist, obviously not just for de facto, but also was the keyboardist for the Mars Volta as well. And man, he was an incredible talent, an incredible keyboardist. So rest in peace once again to Ike Owens. And of course, Jeremy Ward, who was kind of the vocalist in a sense, add a lot of vocal texture to de facto, and he passed away, which spiraled into the well, rumor has it spiraled into one of the inspirations for Francis the Mute. So we're not sure who's going to replace them and who's going to take their place for a keyboardist. So we'll see what happens. And then it does make sense as far as it being kind of an additional way to promote their documentary, which it basically seems like this is. There's really no word if they're actually going to be making a full album. Of course, Omar Rodriguez Lopez, he's the kind of guy that would do an album just for the sake of the promotion, or just for the sake of creativity, I should say, not just promotion, but just him wanting to make more music, which is always a good thing, right? Um, One of my favorite performances of de facto, it's years old, decades old almost, if you will. But it's when they performed at Long Beach, California. And John Frusciante was actually playing with them at that time. It's a really old video, but if you get the chance, I think it's still actually on YouTube. So thank God for preservation in that regard. And yeah, they're just going at it, killing it. Ike Owens is doing his thing. Everyone's there, and John Frusciante does some awesome guitar work during that performance as well. So check that out if you can find it. Cordova specifically. Cordova is kind of, I would say, is one of the more signature songs for the de facto dub band. But I thought it was just a cool way to advertise the documentary. And who knows, maybe after that performance, maybe we'll get some new stuff. Maybe we'll get some new stuff. We'll see. Um, yeah, and it's interesting because Omar Reeves Lopez' bass playing was pretty darn good, pretty darn good for the de facto. So as far as just he's played multiple instruments for many years now. Curious to see how his chops are as far as bass at this point. But wanted to share that. What are your thoughts? Are you a fan of de facto? Were you a fan of de facto? Are you a fan of them playing as de facto during the South by Southwest? Are you just as frustrated as I am that we're not able to see the documentary as of yet because it's going through the rounds? Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, J Powell Music, and I'll see you guys next video. Thanks a lot.